In this video, I'm going to be walking you through a mini Python project where we are going to create a simple text-based Hangman game. Now, this is going to be a relatively simple project, beginner-friendly, a great way to practice your Python skills, and potentially learn some new things about the Python language. That said, if you have a text editor, you should follow along and try to tweak the code yourself to have your very own Hangman game. Anyway, enough yapping, let's start coding. When we run this Hangman game, everybody knows how Hangman works. It shows us a bunch of underscores and asks us what letter we want to guess. So let's say we want to guess an A. Okay, there are a couple of A's in it. What about a H? Nope, there's none. There are only 13 turns left too. An I? Nope. What about a P? Okay, there are two P's, only one letter left. B? No, only 10 turns left. How about a Y? Okay, that worked. You won in 6 turns. Now that you've seen what it looks like, let's actually build it. So the first thing to do if we want to make a Hangman game is to just come up with a word. So we're going to have a variable word and set that be equal to whatever word you want it to be. That's the word they have to guess. And then we have to set a certain number of turns. So for this one, let's just give them 15 turns to guess what the word is. Then, because we're dealing with a lot of characters here, we're changing around these characters, we should probably just turn this string into a list. So I'm going to create a new variable called list is equal to, and we can use list function to turn it into a list. Now we need to create an empty list called result, where we're just going to store our underscores and eventually where they guess the letters. And now in this result, we need to somehow add a bunch of underscores. So we're just going to go through, we're going to use a for loop to go for x in range len of the word. And then however long the word is, that's how many underscores we're going to append to result. So let's just see how this looks right now. And then to turn this result back into a string, because it looks kind of ugly having the brackets around it, we can use this thing called the .join method, and that'll just let us turn a list into a string. So here, if we run this, you'll see that it worked perfectly. We have 6 underscores with the word Python. And if we change this word to something like apple, then it will change to only 5 underscores. So far, so good. Now we actually need to make the actual game part, where the user is able to guess a letter. So we'll start with something simple, like we're going to make a variable guess and use the input function to let them guess a letter. Now, once they guess a letter, we're going to go through every single index in this list. And we're going to check, is our guess equal to any of the letters in the actual word? So now, if that's true, then we're just going to replace our resulting indice with whatever that guess was. So now instead of an underscore, it will be the actual correct letter. So now all we need to do is just do the same thing. We can use now we just need to do the same thing as we did before, just print out the result again, but as a string with the join method. Now you'll see that if we run this, we get our 5 underscores, but then we have guess a letter. So now we can guess a letter like P, and you'll see that it is able to figure out both letters are P. Even though we have 2 of the same letter, it's able to set both of them to be P, and the rest of them are still underscores. But now we were only able to guess one word, and then the program just stopped. So we need a way to make it continuously loop the program until we either guess the letter correct or use up all our turns. So to do this, we can actually wrap just all of this code inside of a while true loop, which just means that this code will loop infinitely until something happens or we tell it to stop. So it should only stop if either all our turns get lost or if we win the game. So after this runs, after we make our guess, that means that we made one guess and we can set turns minus equal to 1. So now our turns just went down by 1. And then we're going to check, have we guessed the word correctly? So if there's still an underscore in our result, that means that we haven't guessed it. There's still more letters to guess. That means that we're just going to print however many turns that you have left. But if there's no underscore in the result anymore, which means there are no more letters to guess, that means that we won the game. So we could just say you won in, and then we can put however many turns they wanted. So now we can have a print statement that tells us that we won and in how many turns. Then after this, we actually need to use a break statement, which basically just tells the code to stop the loop because now it's completely over. They guessed the word. And now there's one more scenario we need to account for, and it's that if the turns are equal to 0, so if we've used up all our turns, then we should print you lost, the word was, and then we can tell them the word. And then after that, we should also use a break statement. So this looks pretty good. Let's see if the code actually works. And let's set the word to something random that I won't show you either. Okay, the word is set. Let's play the game. So you'll see, we start it. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 letters in this word. So it's an 8-letter word. Let's just try something like E. Okay, so there's one E at the end. What about, I don't know, a T? Okay, no T. B. Okay, there's 2 B's there and there. About an S. Okay, there's an S at the beginning, and the 4th letter is an S. W. No, C. Oh, I think I know what this is. R-I-U. Subscribe. You won in 9 turns. Okay, guys, so that's the project. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you liked the video. Thanks for watching.